10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by All Pro Roofing on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Sports concepts and rationalizations. We call it the 10-minute drill. And Beef, I think at the end, what do we have for the boys?
We're going to hook one lucky Googan up, Dan, with a family 4-pack of vouchers to go see the Jumbo Shrimp in Action final homestand coming up next week, the 21st through the 25th.
Jeff, what 0-1 teams concern you as far as going forward? And I'll give you a list to play with if you would like. It includes the Packers. Are you concerned at all about the Packers?
Mild, but they got a real feel good game this
Lions.
week. They're home against the Lions, and I'm facing in fantasy football the one quarterback I would not want to face this week.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers at home against the Lions.
Do you love the theory that Rodgers is sabotaging the Packers season this year?
I don't believe that's true.
What about the Patriots? Does that concern you?
Less than the Packers.
Yeah. What about the Bills?
The Bills concern me.
They do.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's real when you live in terrible land for a lot of years.
Yeah.
There's a hangover. You can go down. I feel like the momentum can go. Now, I'm not in any way giving up on them, but that was, to me, one of the more disappointing performances. You're opening at home against a Pittsburgh team that's gone through a lot of transitions, not near as good as they've been. At least that was the word going in. So to blow the 10-0 lead at home, that one scares me. But I would still say mild because I think they're probably still the best team in the division.
I'll give you my two that concern me the most, and I'm not counting.
What about the Titans?
They're not one of them, but you can be concerned about them.
Only because of how bad they got whooped.
I'll give you my two that concern me the most that could be playoff teams. Like, I'm not bringing up the Jaguars or the Jets or the Giants but the two that could be that some would have picked for the playoffs that concern me the most at 0-1 are the Vikings. I don't like the vibe I'm getting out of Minnesota. I don't like the whole – just seems a little disjointed to me. So the Vikings concern me. And then the Ravens concern me. I don't think they concern you as much, but they concern me. I think it's a tough division. And by the way, maybe the Bengals will be a little bit better than people thought.
Well, the Ravens with the injury, certainly that's concerning. Yeah. But I think that concern isn't anymore because they lost a game at the Raiders.
You know who the Ravens have this week?
Yeah, Kansas City.
Yeah.
So probably looking at an 0-2 start, and suddenly, like you said, the AFC North doesn't have two doormats that you wipe your feet on their 3-13 seasons.
Right.
Which the Browns and Bengals have been, great contributors to that.
When I go to the NFL stats,
okay,
all right, and I hit the quarterbacks and I hit the rating button,
yeah,
I don't like seeing Trevor at 31.
Well, he had a passer rating of 70, so yeah. That's where you're going to see him.
The good news is the guy he's ahead of.
The good news is, who was it? Was it Zach Wilson?
No, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers has a quarterback rating of 36.
Yeah. Again, so I am not at all concerned. Which I don't think Trevor. Yeah, no. I think.
Let me ask you this:
a 70 passer rating when your offensive line was as unprofessionally
let me ask you this.
corrupt as they were in that game, pass blocking.
What is a good quarterback rating for Trevor by season's end?
100.
100.
Yeah.
Okay. You want it at 100? Do you think it'll be 100? I say there's no chance it'll be 100 because of the picks. He's going to throw picks. And I think
Gardner Minshew left here with a 95 passer rating playing a lot of games.
Yeah, but Gardner Minshew, Trevor throws a real football. And I think the Jags receivers were a little surprised. Those weren't Gardner Minshew popsicles coming in.
My point is,
here it comes.
Well, my point is with the same personnel.
Yeah.
Almost identical. Gardner Minshew in his career had a 95 passer rating here in about 16 or so games. And that includes all the stinkers that he had.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he had one along the way that was as bad as what we saw against Houston. So I think his passer rating should continue to climb.
I think it'll climb. There's no way it'll get to 100. And by the way, if it doesn't get to 100, he won't be in the top 15 or so. So If he
I mean,
got
Daniel Jones had a 90 the other day, and he was terrible. So I part of the reason I say 100 is what a joke the passer rating has become, how easy it is to be efficient.
what are you, the QBR guy then? Are you more of a
No,
QBR?
I'm not more of anything.
Asking.
I'm wins and touchdowns and yards, and the passer rating matters. All I'm saying is the baseline for the passer rating is now Daniel Jones had a 90. 90 used to get you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones had a 90, and that was 21st best this
Trevor
week.
had a 14 QBR.
Yeah, it was. There was
Also 30th.
Yeah, he was victimized by terrible play and the penalties and a bad.
I'm not
offensive
ripping Trevor. I'm just asking you.
And for the record, Josh Allen had a 79 the other day, and he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers below him, as you said. So
Yeah.
do you? Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What do you think Aaron Rodgers' passer rating is going to be at the end of the year?
I think his will be in the hundreds.
Yeah, he's at 36. He's got even more room to make up.
Yeah, I think he will.
What about Josh Allen? What do you think his passer rating will
I
be?
think Josh Allen is like the I think Josh Allen though will be fine. Yeah, he'll be 100s,
Hundreds, right?
Yeah,
What about
100.
Ryan Tannehill? Very efficient quarterback. He's
good.
116 last year, I think.
Was he?
He's 74.9 this week. So
Mm-hmm.
let's give it a month, maybe. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, we're using rating.
You know who
and-
the number one quarterback is in
yeah,
terms
it
of
was
passer rating?
it has to be Stafford.
Stafford.
I mean, because they were just
Stafford,
it was almost
Wilson,
flawless.
Mahomes, and Jameis Winston.
You know, Jameis Winston is one of those. I'll play a little NFL game with you
Okay, I like it.
as we continue here on the 10-minute drill.
Let's drill.
And that would be overreactions to week one. And in a way, that's kind of the path that you just went down. Are we overreacting to the Bills 0-1 or the Ravens 0-1 or whoever it may be? And since we've already crossed that one off, here, is this an overreaction? Jameis Winston has immediately reestablished himself as a franchise quarterback, and he's
No.
going to make a lot of money next offseason.
No, he has not yet. It's one game. But you got to like what you saw. I happened to be watching when Jameis threw a pick.
It's the lowest yardage
When Jameis
total
threw
for 5 touchdowns ever.
When Jameis threw the pick, there was a penalty, so it didn't count.
Yeah.
But he did throw a pick in the red zone.
He was a different quarterback, though. That Saints system is going to allow him to be efficient.
Yes.
He had 44 air yards on his first 13 completions. He only averaged 7 air yards per throw. So that's going to cut down on those wild throws over the middle that led to 30 picks a couple of years ago.
The top 3 in the NFL right now in interceptions, Lawrence, Brady, and Rodgers. You go, Trevor.
I don't think that it is a overreaction. I think it is an indication that he's going to get a lot of money to be somebody's franchise quarterback. He'll sign a big free agent deal next offseason.
Oh, okay.
Right? He spun the wheel. You know, he took the lower money. He stayed in New Orleans. He could have gone off and
And he won the job.
he
had to
won
win
the job.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
think
in an
it's one-
offense that's been proven. All right, is this an overreaction off of week one?
Not willing to give it to him quite
The
yet.
Browns aren't really AFC
By the way,
contenders.
I do have the Saints in the playoffs, so I like that.
Okay.
I think you're probably right, but I'm not willing to do it.
All right.
What? The Browns are what?
aren't really AFC contenders.
Oh, no, that's a way overreaction.
Okay.
The Browns are really good.
By contenders, we mean to go to the Super Bowl.
The Browns
Which still, I
the
would
Browns
agree
have to learn.
And they didn't have Odell. He wasn't ready yet either.
The Browns have to learn how to win. That's all.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's some DNA issues there, too, similar and even worse than what we talked about with some of the other teams. Kyler Murray will win the MVP. Overreaction?
Yes.
3 for 4, ran for 1. They pummeled a really good Tennessee team on the road.
He ran for 100 yards?
No.
Oh, ran for a
Threw
touchdown.
4 touchdowns,
I
ran
thought you
for
said
a
he threw
touchdown.
for 400 and ran for 100. Like, dang. That's pretty
No,
good.
ran for 1.
Okay.
The problem with positioning any quarterback as the potential MVP is there's so many of them that had great games. Like, why would Kyler Murray be an MVP candidate and Matthew Stafford not be? So there's too many. Overreaction, the Jets should have kept Sam Darnold.
Yeah, overreaction.
Darnold did go against his old team, 24 of 35, 249 yards and a touchdown.
Good. I was happy
Did get
for
the
him.
win,
Yeah.
but it's not like they,
You know me. I've been hard on Sam Darnold.
Yeah, not like they, lit it up for, 500 yards of offense and 38 points or something.
Right.
But, yeah, so that would probably be an overreaction. Overreaction or not,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is going to make the Eagles forget about Carson Wentz.
Overreaction.
He was good the other day.
He was very good.
27 of 35, 3 touchdowns.
He was terrific.
Also 62 yards rushing.
Yeah. Terrific.
Wentz wasn't terrible for the
No.
Colts either, but boy, they didn't.
Their defense was bad.
They didn't compete with.
No, their defense
With the
was bad.
Seahawks.
Yeah, their defense was bad. A couple other things in the 10-minute drill. Anthony Richardson, I think he may give it a go. I think he's definitely hurt. So we'll
100%.
see. Yeah.
I think it would be stupid to play him. I do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Listen, and maybe you'll get a little extra edge out of Emory knowing that there's not somebody about to take all his playing time. You know, maybe it'll free him up. There's one thing that you cannot get away from in 2 games of watching Florida. He's not a good passer.
Right.
He's just not.
Right.
We were fooled into believing that these 8 throws in this game against Kentucky he's
you
not.
You can't have 4 picks against those 2.
No, and so Alabama will pick him off 5 times on Saturday.
Dear.
And it'll get old if Dan Mullen does not come up with a game plan that he can execute. You can't. This guy's not. Look, this is not Kyle Trask throwing before the guy makes his break. This is a guy waiting for the guy to make his break, take 2 steps, and now allow the defense to get in perfect position to pick him.
Dear.
But
Ouch.
now look, if they had Anthony Richardson, sure, I want to play him
Yeah.
as a not so secret weapon. He would make some big plays in that game. But,
I just don't think he's going to be 100%.
And do you risk him, for the rest of the year?
Well, again, that doesn't mean. Well, here's the problem. It's a hamstring, so you don't have to play him. That doesn't mean he's going to be 100% the following week.
Yeah, but in 6 weeks you got Georgia. That's my point. You got bigger fish to fry down the road for your chances, even than Alabama. You can lose the Alabama game and be okay.
Yeah.
If you lose the Alabama game and lose Anthony Richardson, you're not going to be okay. At least it doesn't seem that way from what we've seen the first 2 weeks.
I would agree with that. And our 1-to-1 financial poll question of the day. Now that FSU is 0-2, what will happen the rest of the way for the Noles? 6 wins in a bowl. Lucky to win 3-4. Will have a major upset. Chuba or Tate at quarterback.
All right, give me the
6 wins in a bowl.
No,
lucky
that's
to
low.
win 3 or 4.
That's number
We'll
1.
have a major upset, or by the end we'll be playing Chuba or Tate at quarterback.
2, lucky to win 3 or 4 is going to be the number 1 answer.
Mm-hmm.
The third one, have an upset, was going to be the number 2 answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chuba probably the last answer.
Okay, close, but lucky to win 3 or 4 is the runaway, 65%. But 22% say 6 wins in a bowl. 8% say we'll have a major upset. 4% say Chuba or Tate at quarterback. 300-plus votes at Dan Hicken if you'd like to play along.
I don't see the 6 wins in a bowl. That seems pretty pie in the sky to me. Did you see what PK Sam tweeted yesterday?
What did he say?
Remember PK Sam, right?
Do I remember?
PK Sam is the guy that got deep in the swindle in the swamp. And if you Gator fans know what I'm talking about, after the OT loss against Notre Dame in week 1, you think things are on the rise. Then Jacksonville State happens. Things go on the, quote, down the proverbial hatch.
Mm-hmm.
PK Sam tweeted yesterday he's hearing from sources in the locker room that the attitude is, quote, in shambles in Tallahassee. Florida State's next 3 games at Wake Forest versus Louisville and versus Syracuse. So, we'll see just how accurate that is. But, according to some of those that have been around the program, it's already started.
Well,
you fall out of
I got
belief
news
quick
for
when
you.
you've been bad.
You lose to Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
You can say what you want. You
Right.
can try to push, and you can try to keep everybody together. Of course it's in shambles. What do you think people do? They sit there and they talk. If you're a football player, what are we doing? Why are we? What just happened? And it's not your fault, so you blame others. That's normal.
At the
So
end
they
of the
lost
day, it
one
is.
of their offensive linemen who was a fairly big recruit. He quit this week, the Lucas kid. He wasn't starting, but he still,
Well, at the end of the day, the players can be in shambles all they want. You got the ball at the 1-yard line. You're playing against an overmatched team. Feel free to knock the guy into the end zone and score a touchdown.
All right. Let's do caller number 3, Beef. 641-1010 right now. 641-1010. Tell them what they're going to win. We'll come back 8 o'clock hour. We'll get things going. We got more NFL talk. We'll focus in on the Jaguars. Big game coming up against the Denver Broncos. What do you guys think? Do they, is it going to be different than it was a week ago? We'll discuss that and more coming up on the drill.
Call now, 641-1010. Caller number 3, going to get a family 4-pack of vouchers for tickets to see the Jumbo Shrimp in action down at 121 Financial Ballpark. Final home series of the season, September 21st through the 25th.